Hello, this is part two since we ran out of room on our other recording. We're still reading A Chair for My Mother by Vera B. Williams. My other grandpa brought us his beautiful rug. My mother's other sister, Sally, had made us red and white curtains. Mama's boss, Josephine, brought pots and pans, silverware, and dishes. My cousin brought me her own stuffed bear. Everyone clapped when Grandma made a speech. You are all the kindest people, she said, and we thank you very, very much. It's lucky we're young and can start all over. Look at the community coming together to help a family solve a problem. That was last year, but we still have no sofa and no big chairs. When Mama comes home, her feet hurt. There's no good place for me to take a load off my feet, she says. When Grandma wants to sit back and hum and cut up potatoes, she has to get as comfortable as she can on a hard kitchen chair. So that is how come Mama brought home the biggest jar she could find at the diner, and all of the coins started to go into the big jar. Now the jar is too heavy for me to lift down. Uncle Sandy gave me a quarter. He had to boost me up. He had to lift her up so I could put it in. After supper, Mama and Grandma and I stood in front of the jar. Well, I never would have believed it, but I guess it's full, Mama said. Look how many coins they have in that jar. That is a big jar full of nickels and dimes and quarters and pennies. Wonder if there's any half dollars in there. My mother brought home little paper wrappers for the nickels and the dimes and the quarters and the pennies. I counted them all out and wrapped them all up. On my mother's day off, we took all the coins to the bank. The bank exchanged them for $10 bills. Then we took the bus downtown to shop for our chair. We shopped through 4 furniture stores. We tried out big chairs and smaller ones, high chairs and low chairs, soft chairs and harder ones. Grandma said she felt like Goldilocks in the Three Bears trying out all the chairs. That was what I was thinking. I was making a connection to the Goldilocks and the Three Bears story. There they are at the bank, and there they are testing out the chairs. Finally, we found the chair we were all dreaming of, and the money in the jar was enough to pay for it. We called Aunt Ida and Uncle Sandy. They came right down in their pickup truck to drive the chair home for us. They knew we couldn't wait for it to be delivered. I tried out our chair in the back of the truck. Mama wouldn't let me sit there while we drove. That wouldn't be safe. But they let me sit in it while they carried it up to the door. It's a pretty chair. We set the chair right beside the window with the red and white curtains. Grandma and Mama and I all sat in it while Aunt Ida took our picture. Now Grandma sits in it and talks with people going by in the daytime. Mama sits down and watches the news on TV when she comes home from her job. After supper, I sit with her and she can reach right up and turn out the light if I fall asleep in her lap. And that is the end of our story. That was a really good story. And I have right in front of me who the author is, Vera B. Williams. And she was also the illustrator who drew the pictures. This is what she said to you. Dear readers, the idea for A Chair for My Mother came from a wish I had as a child to be able to give my mother a marvelous gift. Like the family in the story, we did not have enough money to buy a new chair. I had a wonderful feeling that by writing the story, I could make that happen. Writing stories lets me change the past into something I like better. Your friend, Vera B. Williams. And here she is in real life. This is what she looks like. Whoops, there she is. Okay, so you guys are going to have a graphic organizer, and you're going to be thinking about all of the things that I said as I was reading. I want you to think about the problem that the characters had in the story and what was the solution. Did you think about your prediction that you made at the beginning of the story? Did it come true? Or was it something different? Did you make sure that you were visualizing as I was reading and thinking about what the characters look like and thinking about the setting of the story? Did you ask questions? Did your questions get answered? Did you make a personal connection like I did with Goldilocks and the Three Bears? Before the author even said it, I was making that connection in my mind. Okay? So you guys need to make sure that as you're reading a story, you're really trying to comprehend what is happening in that story so you can understand it better. Okay? So you guys are going to work on your organizer and think about all of the things that I read to you with that great story. Good luck, readers.